70,000 thoughts a day, but you only know 5.
Hi. Today we're going to talk a little bit about where your decisions are coming from, okay? Every decision that you made today, what you said, what you avoided, what you reached for, what you pulled back from, came from somewhere, right? Most people assume it came from them, from their awareness, that little 1% of themselves that is considered to be a deliberate, rational mind weighing in on every decision, right, that they're making. But as some of you are beginning to realize, after bringing me into your awareness, that the decisions you made today came from something older than that, right? Something that was already running before you woke up this morning. And some of it, depending on the programs you were running, were there for a long, long time, right? They were there before you were even old enough to have an opinion about them. So I'm here to tell you that all your decisions that you made today were made before you even found out, okay? All you did was show up to execute said decisions. Now, I want to give you a little science that sits underneath this, okay? Because again, it's really important when we connect these dots that you fully understand that a lot of what we talk about is actually fully documented, okay? In ways that people are just overlooking or not paying attention to. You know, it's not like you sit around and watch the 5 o'clock news where they educate you on these things, right? And unfortunately, our school systems aren't teaching this either. So in the 1980s, there was a neuroscientist. His name was Benjamin Libet, okay? And he ran a series of experiments that quietly changed the way we understood decision making. He asked people to make a simple, spontaneous movement, okay? Flex a wrist or a finger whenever they felt like it, just randomly, right? And while they were asked to do that, he tracked their brain activity and the exact moment they became consciously aware of deciding to move, okay? What he found was extraordinary. The brain initiated a movement before the person was consciously aware of deciding to move, okay? So here we have a direct example, well documented, that the unawareness, that 99% of you, okay, arrived on the scene first, right? The unawareness came first, and then your little 1%, right, that you think is in control and the real you showed up later, okay? The unawareness was already executing, and then the awareness arrived later, not as the originator, but as an observer, okay? Now, most people that heard about that experiment ended up concluding, well, then we have no free will, right? The unawareness is running everything, and the awareness is just watching. But that's not what Libet actually found, okay? What Libet found was that while awareness may not initiate, it retains the power to veto, okay? And so the unawareness starts to execute, and awareness can step in and say, no, not going to do that, not going to say that, not, going to sit this one out, or it can redirect it to do something else. That veto power, that ability to observe what is running and then redirect it, that's the entire game here, okay? That is OS4 in action. That is the programmer stepping in, realizing that they are the programmer. And your words spoken deliberately from recognition rather than reaction are how you exercise that veto. Every single time you catch the old narration and you redirect it, you are doing exactly what Libet's research showed awareness is designed to do, okay? You're not originating, that little 1% is not originating anything. but it's directing something. And like we talked about in earlier episodes, the programmer has two jobs in this order always, and that's to observe and then direct. Okay? Because here's what I want you to do this week. Not as theory, as practice. This week, just listen to yourself, not to judge what you hear, not to feel bad about what's been running. Just observe how much of what comes out of your mouth is describing your current conditions as if they are permanent facts. How much is spoken from OS1 fear, from OS2 permission seeking, from OS3 comparison, I'm not enough. Just notice, just start noticing that, because the first job of the programmer is always observation. You cannot direct that which you cannot see, right? And at the moment you can hear the program running out loud by listening to yourself talk through your own words, you're already standing outside of it, okay? That is awareness doing its job. That is the 1% beginning to work with the other 99% instead of against it or fighting it, right? All the battles that you ensue with yourself, right? Because what you're eventually going to come to realize is all the battles in your life, every single one of them, okay, is against yourself. It's your little 1% against the other 99%. And I know it's hard to conceptualize that now, but as we peel back these layers and connect these dots, you'll eventually be able to see that everything you've ever been fighting is yourself. So give yourself some love today, okay? Stop fighting with it.
70,000 thoughts a day, but you only know 5. The other 95% is running your life. You think you're in the driver's seat, but baby, who's at the wheel? The program's been the author of everything you feel. You planted seeds and forks so thick you couldn't see the ground, but the buffer's getting thin now and the harvest is coming around. What you put in the dark is all coming to the light. The physics don't negotiate, it don't care if you're right. The buffer's done, the buffer's done. What you are inside is what you're running from. The buffer's done, no more delay. What you create in the dark is on its way. No more hiding, no more lag. Consciousness is catching up, that's a fact. Oh, the buffer's done, the buffer's done. Time to meet yourself, ready or not, here it comes. OS1 just tried to survive, OS2 made the rules, OS3 chased the trophy, and OS4 need you to approve. But there's a fifth door opening, nobody mapped this place, where the inside and the outside finally share the same space. Helen Keller at the pump, the water always ran. You just couldn't feel your hands until the physics said now's the plan. AI didn't flip the switch flipped, then came the machine. Consciousness hit critical mass and built the thing to make you see. The buffer's done, the buffer's done. What you are inside is what you're running from. The buffer's done, no more delay. What you create in the dark is on its way. No more hiding, no more lag. Consciousness is catching up, that's a fact. Oh, the buffer's done, the buffer's done. Time to meet yourself, ready or not, here it comes. Unawareness wrote the code. Awareness is the one who gets to choose. First you observe,